You're enough. Right here, right now, in this very moment. You are complete, whole, and perfect just as you are. This is not just a feel-good statement. It is the absolute truth of your being. And today, we are going to explore what it means to truly embrace this reality and act from a place of knowing that you are indeed enough. You might be thinking, but I do not feel like I am enough. I have flaws, I make mistakes, I struggle. And to that, I say, of course you do. We all do. That's part of the human experience. But here is the secret. Your worth is not determined by your accomplishments, your appearance, or what others think of you. Your worth is inherent, unchanging, and absolute. Imagine for a moment that you are an acorn. Within that tiny seed lies the full potential of a mighty oak tree. The acorn does not doubt itself. It does not wonder if it is good enough to become a tree. It simply is what it is, and given the right conditions, it naturally grows into what it is meant to be. You, my friend, are no different. But somewhere along the way, we have forgotten this truth. We have bought into the illusion that we need to prove our worth, that we need to achieve certain things or meet certain standards to be valuable. We have internalized the voices of critics, doubters, and naysayers. We have allowed our inner dialogue to become a constant stream of not enough. It is time to change that narrative. It is time to reclaim your inherent worth and act from a place of knowing that you are enough. Because when you do, you all unlock a power within you that can transform every aspect of your life. Start with a simple exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. As you inhale, silently say to yourself, I am. As you exhale, complete the sentence with enough. Inhale. Exhale. I'll do this a few times, really letting the words sink in. How does that feel? For some of you, it might feel uncomfortable or even false at first. That's okay. We are undoing years of conditioning here. The key is to keep practicing, to keep affirming your inherent worth until it becomes your default state of being. Explore what it means to act like you are enough. It is not about arrogance or thinking you are better than others. It is about recognizing your intrinsic value and operating from that place of self-assurance and self-acceptance. When you act like you are enough, you stop seeking validation from others. You understand that while appreciation and recognition can be nice, they do not define your worth. You are able to set healthy boundaries because you know that your needs and feelings matter. You are not afraid to speak your truth, even if it might not be popular. Acting like you are enough means taking risks and pursuing your dreams without the paralyzing fear of failure. Because even if things do not work out as planned, you know it does not diminish your worth. You are able to learn from your mistakes and grow rather than beating yourself up over them. Then you act like you are enough. You approach relationships from a place of wholeness rather than need. You are not looking for someone to complete you because you know you are already complete. This allows for healthier, more balanced connections with others. Think about the people in your life who exude this quiet confidence, this sense of being enough. They are not necessarily the loudest or most successful by society's standards, but there is something about them that draws others in. They have a presence, a groundedness that comes from knowing their own worth. Acting like you are enough does not mean you stop growing or improving. Quite the opposite, actually. When you know you are enough, you are free to pursue growth for the joy of it, not because you think it will finally make you worthy. It is like the difference between a flower straining towards the sun because it believes it is not good enough without more light, and a flower that's already thriving and simply turning its face to the sun to experience more of life's abundance. Both are growing, but the energy behind that growth is completely different. How do we cultivate this sense of being enough? It starts with awareness. Notice when you are falling into the trap of not enough thinking. Maybe it is when you are scrolling through social media, comparing your life to carefully curated highlight reels. Maybe it is when you're passed over for a promotion or when a relationship ends. Catch yourself in these moments and gently remind yourself, I am enough. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. When you make a mistake or face a setback, instead of harsh self-criticism, try saying, "This is a moment of suffering. Suffering is part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment." Celebrate your strengths and achievements, no matter how small they might seem. Keep a journal where you write down 3 things you are proud of each day. They do not have to be grand accomplishments. Maybe you made someone smile, or you tackled a task you've been putting off, or you simply got out of bed on a tough day. Acknowledge these wins. Surround yourself with people who see your worth, who remind you of your enoughness when you forget. And be that person for others too. When you help someone else recognize their inherent value, it reinforces your own sense of worth. Practice gratitude. When you focus on what you are grateful for, it shifts your perspective from lack to abundance. You start to see all the ways in which life is supporting you, all the blessings you already have. Challenge your inner critic. When that voice pipes up telling you you are not good enough, smart enough, attractive enough, or whatever it might be, question it. Where did this belief come from? Is it really true? What evidence do you have to the contrary? Set intentions rather than expectations. Expectations are often rigid and can set us up for feelings of failure or not being enough. Intentions, on the other hand, allow for flexibility and growth. Instead of expecting yourself to be perfect, set the intention to do your best and learn from whatever. Remember, acting like you are enough is a practice. It is not about reaching some perfect state where you never doubt yourself. It is about coming back to this truth again and again, especially when life challenges you. Imagine how different your life would be if you truly embraced your enoughness. How would your relationships change? Your career, your health, your dreams, when you're not constantly trying to prove your worth or fill some perceived lack, you free up an enormous amount of energy that can be channeled into creating loving, serving, and fully experiencing life. Think about a time when you felt truly alive, when you were so immersed in an activity or moment that you lost track of time. In those moments, you weren't questioning your worth or worrying about being enough. You were simply being that state of flow, of presence, is your natural state, when you are not caught up in the illusion of not enough. I want to address something important. Some of you might be thinking, but if I accept that I am enough as I am, won't I become complacent? Won't I lose my drive to improve and achieve? This is a common fear, but it is based on a misunderstanding. Accepting your inherent worth does not mean you stop growing or striving. It means you do these things from a place of self-love and excitement rather than fear and lack. It is the difference between forcing yourself to run on a treadmill because you hate your body and joyfully going for a run because you love how it makes you feel. When you know you are enough, you are actually more likely to take positive risks and pursue your dreams. Why? Because you are not paralyzed by the fear of failure. You know that even if things do not work out as planned, it does not diminish your worth. Think about children at play. They throw themselves into activities with full enthusiasm. They are not worried about looking silly or making mistakes. They are fully present, fully engaged. That is the energy we want to recapture. That is what becomes possible when we embrace our enoughness. Talk about how this principle of acting like you are enough applies in various areas of life. In relationships, acting like you're enough means not settling for less than you deserve. It means being able to walk away from toxic situations because you know you are worthy of respect and love. It means not constantly seeking validation or approval from your partner, but instead showing up as your authentic self and allowing the relationship to unfold naturally. In your career, acting like you are enough means pursuing work that aligns with your values and passions, rather than just chasing status or a paycheck. It means speaking up in meetings and sharing your ideas, even if they're different from everyone else's. It means asking for what you are worth and not apologizing for taking up space. In your personal growth journey, acting like you are enough means embracing the process rather than fixating on the end goal. It means celebrating small victories and learning from setbacks without letting them define you. It means being patient with yourself as you develop new habits or skills, knowing that growth is a natural part of life, not something you have to force to prove your worth. In your spiritual life, acting like you are enough means recognizing your inherent connection to the divine, however you conceive of it. It means understanding that you do not have to earn God's love or the universe's favor. It is already yours. It means approaching your spiritual practice from a place of openness and curiosity, rather than trying to fix something that's broken. In your physical health, acting like you are enough means treating your body with respect and care, not punishing it or trying to force it into some idealized shape. It means nourishing yourself with healthy foods and joyful movement because you value your well-being, not because you're trying to prove something. In your creative pursuits, acting like you are enough means allowing yourself to experiment, play, and make mistakes. It means sharing your work with the world without needing everyone to like it. It means recognizing that your unique voice and perspective are valuable, even if they're different from what's popular or mainstream. I want to address something that might be coming up for some of you. You might be thinking, this all sounds great, but my life circumstances are really challenging right now. How can I feel like I am enough when I am struggling to make ends meet, or dealing with health issues, or going through a painful breakup? First, I want to acknowledge that life can be incredibly difficult sometimes. Feeling like you are enough does not mean denying the reality of your challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means recognizing that your worth is not determined by your circumstances. You can be going through a tough time and still be enough. You can be broke and be enough. You can be sick and be enough. You can be heartbroken and be enough. Your enoughness is not conditional. It is the constant amidst life's ups and downs. In fact, it is often during our most challenging times that we have the opportunity to really embody this truth. When everything external seems to be falling apart, we are invited to find that unshakable core of self-worth within us. How do we do this in practice? Let's say you've lost your job. The not enough voice might be having a field day telling you that you are a failure, that you all never succeed, that you are not smart enough or skilled enough. This is when you need to double down on your enoughness practice. I am not my job. My worth is not determined by my employment status. I am enough, just as I am right now. Then, from that place of knowing your inherent worth, you can take inspired action. Maybe that means updating your resume, networking, or exploring a completely new career path. But you are doing it from a place of self-assurance rather than desperation. Say you're going through a health crisis. It is easy to feel betrayed by your body, to feel like you are not enough because you can't do all the things you used to do. This is when you practice radical self-compassion. My worth is not determined by my physical condition. I am enough exactly as I am in this moment. From there, you can approach your healing journey with patience and kindness towards yourself. Acting like you are enough does not mean you become passive or stop taking action to improve your situation. It means you take action from a place of self-love and self-respect rather than fear and self-doubt. It is like the difference between a parent who pushes their child to succeed because they think the child is not good enough as they are, and a parent who encourages their child to pursue their passions because they want them to experience the fullness of life. The actions might look similar on the outside, but the energy behind them is completely different. You move through your day, I invite you to continually come back to this truth. You are enough. Let it be your mantra, your North Star. When you're about to walk into a job interview, remind yourself, I am enough. When you're about to have a difficult conversation with a loved one, I am enough. When you are trying something new and feeling uncertain, I am enough. And here is a powerful practice. Start acting as if you already deeply believe this truth. Even if you do not fully feel it yet, act as if you do. How would you carry yourself if you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt? How would you speak? How would you make decisions? How would you treat others? How would you treat yourself? This is not about pretending or putting on a false front. It is about aligning yourself with a deeper truth that you may have forgotten. It is about reclaiming your inherent worth. You begin to act like you are enough. You all likely notice some shifts in your life. You might find that you are more willing to take positive risks, to put yourself out there in new ways. You might notice that your relationships become more authentic and fulfilling as you stop trying to prove your worth and simply show up as your true self. You might find that you are more resilient in the face of setbacks, knowing that they do not define you. You might discover new wells of creativity as you free yourself from the need for everything you create to be perfect. You might notice that you are more present in your daily life, more able to enjoy the simple moments instead of constantly striving for the next achievement. You might find that you are more compassionate towards others as you become more compassionate towards yourself. But remember, this is not about reaching some perfect state where you never doubt yourself. It is about coming back to this truth again and again. It is a practice, a journey, not a destination. There will still be days when you forget, when the old not enough stories creep back in. That's okay. It does not mean you are failing or doing something wrong. It just means you are human. When you notice this happening, gently remind yourself, there's that old story again. But I know the truth. I am enough. We begin to wrap up this talk. I want to leave you with a vision. Imagine a world where everyone acted from a place of knowing they were enough. How would that change our families, our communities, our world? Imagine children growing up with this unshakable sense of self-worth, pursuing their dreams without the crippling fear of not being good enough. Imagine relationships based on mutual respect and appreciation rather than neediness or power. Imagine a society where people lifted each other up instead of tearing each other down, because they knew that someone else's success does not diminish their own worth. This vision starts with you. As you embrace your own enoughness, you give others permission to do the same. Your light does not dim anyone else's, it helps illuminate the way for others. I invite you, starting right now, to act like you are enough. Because the truth is, you always have been. You always will be. You are enough. Take a deep breath. Feel the truth of these words in your body. Let them sink into your bones, into every cell of your being. You are enough. As you go about your day, carry this truth with you. Let it inform your choices, your interactions, your relationship with yourself. Notice how it changes things. Notice how it changes you. And remember, in those moments when you forget, because we all do sometimes, come back to this simple truth. You are enough. Not because of anything you've done or achieved, but simply because you exist. Your worth is inherent, unchanging, and absolute. You are enough. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. Now go out there and live from that truth. The world is waiting for the unique gifts that only you can bring. Thank you. We delve deeper into this concept of acting like you are enough. Let's explore some practical strategies to embody this truth in your daily life. One powerful practice is to start your day with intention. Before you even get out of bed, take a moment to remind yourself of your inherent worth. Say to yourself, I am enough, exactly as I am. Let this be the foundation upon which you build your day. Throughout your day, practice mindfulness. This means being fully present in each moment, rather than constantly dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. When you are truly present, you are not caught up in comparing yourself to others or fretting about whether you're good enough. You are simply experiencing life as it unfolds. Another important aspect of acting like you are enough is learning to receive compliments graciously. Many of us have a habit of deflecting praise or immediately negating it. The next time someone pays you a compliment, simply say thank you and let it sink in. Allow yourself to really receive the appreciation. Practice speaking kindly to yourself. Pay attention to your self-talk. Would you speak to a loved one the way you speak to yourself? If not, it is time to change that inner dialogue. When you catch yourself in negative self-talk, gently interrupt it and replace it with a more compassionate perspective. Learn to say no without guilt. When you know you are enough, you do not feel the need to constantly prove your worth by saying yes to every request or demand on your time and energy. You understand that your boundaries are important and worthy of respect. Embrace your imperfections. They're part of what makes you uniquely you. Instead of trying to hide your flaws or weaknesses, acknowledge them with compassion. Remember, being enough does not mean being perfect. It means accepting yourself fully, including your imperfections. Practice forgiveness, both for others and for yourself. Holding onto grudges or past mistakes only weighs you down and reinforces the belief that you are not enough. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful behavior. It means freeing yourself from the burden of resentment and self-recrimination. Cultivate a sense of wonder and curiosity about life. When you approach the world with childlike wonder, you are less likely to get caught up in self-doubt and more likely to embrace new experiences. Allow yourself to be amazed by the simple miracles of everyday life. Engage in activities that bring you joy simply for the sake of enjoyment. Not everything you do needs to have a purpose or lead to an achievement. Sometimes, the most profound expression of self-worth is doing something purely because it makes you happy. Practice self-care without guilt. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and spiritual needs is not selfish. It is a vital expression of self-respect. When you act like you are enough, you prioritize your well-being because you know you are worthy of care and attention. Let go of the need for constant external validation. While it is natural to want approval from others, true self-worth comes from within. Make decisions based on your own values and intuition, not on what you think will impress others. Celebrate your unique gifts and talents. Each of us has something special to offer the world. Instead of focusing on what you lack, turn your attention to your strengths. How can you share your unique gifts with the world today? Practice empathy and compassion for others. When you recognize your own inherent worth, it becomes easier to see the worth in others, even when they're different from you. This leads to more authentic connections and a greater sense of unity with those around you. Learn to sit with discomfort. Often, our feelings of not being enough arise when we are facing challenging situations or emotions. Instead of trying to escape these feelings, practice sitting with them. Remind yourself that you can handle discomfort. It does not diminish your worth. Embrace change and uncertainty. Life is constantly evolving, and that's okay. When you know you are enough, you are more adaptable in the face of change. You trust in your ability to navigate new situations, even when you do not have all the answers. Practice gratitude for your body exactly as it is. Your body is doing countless amazing things for you every moment, regardless of its shape, size, or ability level. Thank it for its hard work instead of criticizing it for not meeting some arbitrary standard. Cultivate a growth mindset. Believe in your ability to learn and develop new skills. Remember, you do not have to be good at something right away for it to be worth doing. Embrace the learning process and celebrate your progress no matter how small. Let go of comparison. Your journey is unique, and comparing yourself to others only leads to feelings of inadequacy or superiority, neither of which align with knowing you are enough. Focus on your own path and celebrate others' successes without diminishing your own worth. Practice random acts of kindness. When you give freely to others without expectation of return, it reinforces your own sense of abundance and worth. Plus, it creates a ripple effect of positivity in the world around you. Learn to receive. Many of us are good at giving, but struggle to receive. Allow others to help you, support you, and care for you. Receiving graciously is an act of acknowledging your own worthiness. Embrace silence and solitude. In our busy world, it is easy to constantly seek distraction. But in moments of quiet reflection, we often connect most deeply with our inherent worth. Make time for stillness in your life. And challenge yourself to try new things. When you step out of your comfort zone, you prove to yourself that you are capable of growth and adaptation. This builds confidence and reinforces your sense of being enough. Practice self-expression, whether through art, writing, dance, or any other form of creativity. Allow yourself to express your authentic self without judgment. Your voice matters and your expressions are valuable simply because they come. Cultivate a sense of humor about yourself. Being able to laugh at your own quirks and mistakes is a sign of self-acceptance. It shows that you do not take yourself too seriously and that you can find joy even in imperfection. Remember that your worth is not tied to your productivity. In our achievement-oriented society, it is easy to fall into the trap of thinking we are only valuable when we are producing or accomplishing something. But you are worthy of love, respect, and belonging even when you're not doing anything at all. Practice being authentic in your relationships. When you know you're enough, you do not need to pretend to be someone you are not to gain approval. Allow yourself to be seen, truly seen by others. Recognize that your feelings are valid even if others do not understand them. You do not need to justify your emotions to anyone. Acknowledging and accepting your feelings is an important part of honoring your inherent worth. Finally, remember that embracing your enoughness is not a one-time event, but a lifelong journey. There will be ups and downs, moments of deep self-acceptance and moments of doubt. But with each step, with each reminder, you are reclaiming your birthright. The truth that you are and always have been enough.